of America, I'm Steve Gruber, your soldier of truth, the tip of the spear against all of these invaders, foreign and domestic. Here ready to fight for you from the foxhole of freedom. And remember, my friends, think while it's still legal. This is the Steve Gruber Show. Here are three big things you need to know right now. Number one, the man that marshaled his private army back in June to march on Moscow was shot out of the air by surface-to-air missiles. He was killed along with his entire high command of the Wagner Group. We'll tell you about that. Number two, the climate change fearmongers are pushing their narrative in a stealthy way, convincing kids the air is too smoky to go to school and too smoky to go outside. Now it's too hot to be playing football. Please, Michigan, get your act together. And number three, Donald Trump and Tucker Carlson against the world. It's how it played out last night all over America and all over the world, by the way, of cable news and social media. While 8 Republican candidates, most of whom almost nobody around the world or the country even knows who they are, never heard of them, went to a GOP presidential debate in Milwaukee, Donald Trump and Tucker Carlson offered some alternative programming of their own on X, with Carlson asking the 45th president a host of questions about the people on stage, and more importantly, about the feeble old man holed up in the Oval Office in the White House. I've not seen the final numbers yet, but it appears that the PR media stormtrooper team of Trump and Tucker flat out crushed Fox News. Let's see here. Just moments ago, 145 million and growing. That's how many views Tucker and Trump have had on X. 145 million. Now remember, Fox News, the same one that bowed to pressure from outside groups several weeks ago and fired Tucker, and then threatened him to keep him off social media. It seems that neither he nor the former president are intimidated by the ongoing attacks on both of them. Fox has seen its ratings plummet into the toilet in the face of its epic mistake to fire the most popular news voice in the nation. And the GOP really had no way to entice Trump to take the stage in Wisconsin because, look, he holds a 41-point Real Clear Politics average on the field right now. That's his average lead. It's almost certain, unless he dies, that he will be the GOP nominee. And interestingly enough, that was one of the things that he and Tucker dug into during the conversation. However, most of the time was spent on the state of affairs in the country today and the failures of leadership and what Democrats are willing to do to hang on to power, which is, well, just about anything. And what about Joe Biden? Is he competent, incompetent? Is the left cheating? Here's Donald Trump on that. Listen.
We have done the stupidest things in this country. And now we have a president that can't put two sentences together, can't speak, can't walk, can't talk. I don't think he gets to the starting gate, but these people do miracles. I mean, he ran out of his basement, and you got away with that one because of COVID, so he sort of got away with it. They cheated on the election. But you have people that are very smart, but they're fascists and they're radical left lunatics, and they're destroying our country with the all-electric cars and the windmills all over the place, which, by the way, don't work, and they're all, most of them, made in China. For the most part, they're made in China. Germany a little bit, but China. But you look at what's happening to our country, even no voter ID. I mean, why don't they want voter ID? There's only one reason they don't want voter ID, because they want to cheat. Absolutely true. Why would you not want to know who the voters are? Why would you not want to match signatures? Why would you want to do any of those things? One reason only. Well, let's just assume for the sake of argument that Trump does make it to November 5th, 2024, and is the Republican candidate for president. Who will be on the other side? Joe Biden, of course, leading the Democrat field today. We're told by a wider margin than Trump, but almost nobody, Democrats included, actually believe he is competent in the job today. The media is actually reporting lately on his scandals and the issues he is facing, most of which are connected to raking in millions of dollars by way of his crooked son, Hunter. And frankly, the whole Biden family that appears to be a team of grifters. But it is his health and his mental ability or lack thereof that seems to be the most concerning to most Americans, and that includes the former president, Donald Trump. And he addressed that big question that so many Americans are asking, including Tucker. Will Joe Biden even make it to November the 5th, 2024 in the first place? It's an important question. So Trump talks about Biden, Kamala Harris, and who could replace him. Listen. She speaks in rhyme. It's weird. It's weird. But she has bad moments. And
in rhyme? What do you...
Well, the way she talks, the bus will go here, and then the bus will go there, because that's what buses do. And it's weird. The whole thing is weird. This is not a president of the United States future. And I think they probably have some kind of a primary, and other people will get involved.
Newsom, right? I mean,
Could be. I mean, you know, I always got along well with him, believe it or not. But could be him, could be somebody else. He's got a big load on his shoulders because you look at California, what's happened. But I don't know if the American people really, the people that vote for him, I don't even know if they care. You know, you look at so many of the things that are going on, and people don't seem to be. In the old days, if you had a bad record, it meant a lot. Today, if you have a bad record, it doesn't really mean anything. You know, he looks good. He's a nice-looking guy, speaks well. But Biden, every time you watch him talking, it's like he's walking on eggs. You're waiting for him to collapse. And he almost always does. And I got to know the leaders of all of the countries, essentially, but the big ones. And the bigger, the tougher the leader.
Yeah, the bigger, the tougher the leader, you know, the bigger they are, but not Joe Biden. Not at all. And while that was going on, and look, we'll show you a couple of clips from the other stage. Again, 145, now we're 145.7 million. 145 million and counting. It's up like 5 million since I started watching. Oh, I don't know. I picked up looking at it 45 minutes ago. 145 million people have looked and watched the Trump-Tucker interview already. Do you think Fox News had 145 million views last night? I'm going to go ahead and tell you no. Anyway, on the GOP debate stage, some good moments by the guy moving up in the polling, the young guy. He had some good moments, Ramaswamy. Here he is on the funding of Ukraine. Listen.
Mr. Ramaswamy, you would not support an increase of funding to Ukraine?
I would not. And I think that this is disastrous, that we are protecting against an invasion across somebody else's border when we should use those same military resources to prevent across the invasion of our own southern border here in the United States of America. We are driving Russia further into China's hands. The Russia-China alliance is the single greatest threat we face. And I find it offensive that we have professional politicians on the stage that will make a pilgrimage to Kyiv, to their Pope, Zelensky, without doing the same thing for people in Maui or the south side of Chicago or Kensington. I think that we have to put the interests of Americans first, secure our own border instead of somebody else's. And the reality is, this is also how we project strength by making America strong at home.
Yeah, he's exactly right. These people will make a pilgrimage to Kyiv to see their Pope, Zelensky. I happen to agree with him on that point. I don't know what his play here is. You know, he's got some questionable backgrounds and some questionable things that he's done. Don't they all? But I think he had the best answers. I'm going to have some more from him, and a lot more from Donald Trump and Tucker Carlson coming up. Again, 145 million. Yeah, I don't think that Tucker Carlson's terribly concerned. Let me give you an example. Oliver Anthony had, 35 million views of his country song. And he's making $40,000 a day. How do you think Tucker's doing at 145 million views in a single day? Oh, I think he'll be okay. Just guessing. I'll take a break and be back. It's the Steve Gruber Show. A lot more to talk about straight ahead. Sit right there.